just talk a little bit about housing here in Tiffin-Seneca County. I know this year, Nick, has just been absolutely crazy as far as, what our numbers look like this year to last year. So I'm going to go over those just a little bit here as I'm getting started. And I'm just trying to work through this on Facebook.
No, that's fine.
Okay. This last year, year to date, just so you know, we've had 140 units sell this year. Last year we had 122. We're up about 13%. We're up 12% year to date on value. So I think this shows, and you and I have talked about this, and I know we've talked with David Zach as well. Tiffin did the housing study. Love to hear some of your thoughts. We need more housing. So tell me a little bit about what you know in the Tiffin-Seneca County housing portion here.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. So I guess I will start really quick. For those who don't know me, I'm Nick Dutro. I'm with Tiffin-Seneca.
Yeah, should have introduced you. Good job.
I'm the development manager in charge of commercial and industrial development. I also handle our media relations and residential development, which has kind of recently been added to my plate. So I'll get into it in a little bit where we kind of fit in for housing and residential. It's not always something we've done necessarily, but we're working on a number of projects right now. And while I have to be kind of hush-hush about most of them, I can certainly talk about when we announced a few months ago, which was that NRP Group had closed on the second portion of the Tiffin Point project. So adding another 60 units there off of West Market Street, very much needed in the market. As you're aware, certainly more single family housing would be fantastic to see, but there's a real need for, rental properties right now as well in the market. So I know there's kind of a need for everything at this point. So be that condominiums or villas, the kind of more maintenance free kind of living, or new single family, or even, freeing up some of the older stock that has been has folks that are ready to kind of move out, empty nesters who are ready for a smaller, place to live and getting those younger families into family homes. But, certainly there's a real need for rental units. And, for a long time, we were seeing a lot of movement in, say downtown where people were doing the high-end apartments and things like that. So that's kind of quieted down just a little bit. I think many of our buildings have upper floor apartments in our downtown now. And I know there's people working on other ones, but certainly the Tiffin Point project is really exciting from that standpoint. And we're working with some developers on some other projects kind of like that, which again, I can't necessarily get into too many details on some of those, but sure. There's a lot kind of, going on right now, a lot of conversations that we're kind of part of.
Good. So we've got the rental aspects. We're trying to cover those. I know the high-end units, you're right. There's not much left out there as far as a lot of there's still some downtown buildings that are vacant that could probably use renovated, but there are, a lot of work was done there, and it's been really, really great for those investors who've put their money in. I'm hoping that they're doing well because those apartments are just awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
If our audience hasn't had a chance to go and take a tour of any of those units, if they have those open again, they are really, really quite attractive and quite something. And you talked about condos and single family housing. And the condo units in our community, there's just nothing available right now. I've been told that there are condo units being built on that Euclid Avenue as we're going towards the fairgrounds. If you've been up that way, which I know, Nick, you're aware of it, but all the trees are cleared. It looks like we're going to have some new construction there. And I did see and hear that Rich Zeiss is involved in that. And I hope that's the case because he has a really, really great reputation for new construction and our community. So do you know anything about details there? I don't know about bedrooms, bathrooms, sizes of what those units are going to be or when they're projected to be completed, but he hasn't started construction on just clearing the land. Any ideas there or not really?
So I can't really get into that too much right now. We are kind of talking to Rich about the project that he's working on in the community. so he's got some really exciting things coming. So
Me-
we'll hopefully be working with him and getting some kind of announcement here pretty soon. But yeah, we've been having some talks with him about what they're doing. And it's again, it's very exciting. So I hope we can have something go public here pretty soon.
Good. And out in Clinton Township, I know there's some discussion there too about an extension of a housing development potentially down the road. There's probably some kinks and some things that they have to work out, but hopefully some single family units being built and constructed there. And potentially, um, I guess we'll have to see how it goes, condos as well, which would be great. Higher end condos, I'm sure, if they're out that way. Um, South End condos really are pretty much going over 200,000 or more. If they're, again, those are South End condos out
Mm-hmm.
of those subdivisions. So hopefully we see some more new construction there.
Yeah,
What
it's interesting as you talk about kind of the price range that those are going for, and I think you might have mentioned a little bit earlier the housing study, which talks specifically about condos and townhouses, and again those kind of new construction, more maintenance free living type situations. There's according to that study about 40 to 60 needed in our community, and I think that's maybe even a little bit low in a way. I know there's a number of people, and you're probably well aware, many people who are again, an empty nester or somebody who's maybe ready to move out of the larger family house that they've been in for a long time when their kids were there and ready to go to maybe something a little bit smaller. And for that, I think that there's a real need in the market, and that price range that you kind of mentioned, that 200,000 is well within what our study kind of showed as a price range that those could sell for. And certainly when there's nothing on the market, that kind of helps dictate the price as well. So really interesting that's kind of the market is showing that those numbers that were predicted last year in that study kind of bear fruit or ring true.
Well, Nick, we have 21 houses, single family units on the market as of this morning. A couple weeks ago, we had 14. So the demand is certainly there, and
Mm-hmm.
we continue to see these prices jump up again, 13% in 1 year. With the interest rates staying where they're at, people can afford these new homes. We haven't had really a new home subdivision in our area. I mean, what, since Deer Ridge came in, which was the early 2000s. Well, of
Mm-hmm.
course, Oakley Meadows, we had those condos, and those sell really, really well when they come on the market. I think one just sold there last year for 255. I mean, that just shows the demand for it. So, absolutely hoping that some of these new developments will come to fruition. Any update for us on the Riverfront project? Anything that you can share there? Um, Please have at it.
Sure, sure. So I can say that recently the developer had met with the city administration, and he had indicated at that time he's intending to continue with the project kind of as it originally was described in the agreement with the city. So including the hotel, the condos, the restaurant, and retail on the first floor there. There was an extension that city council approved recently that states that construction must begin by June 30th of 2021. So
Okay.
he is still in conversation with city administration at this time on it.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me pop on Facebook here and see if anybody has any questions for us. If you do, feel free to type them in the comments here. And we'll see if we can answer them quick before I let Nick go on his way for a busy day. Do you have a busy day today?
I've got a couple meetings and things, some exciting stuff. One of the things that kind of goes well with
I'm not
with
sure why.
housing. One of the things that kind of goes with this, and I think one of the reasons that we've kind of gotten into residential development is that we're seeing a lot of development in our commercial district. We're seeing a lot of development in our industrial district. There's a lot of new jobs that are coming to our area, and quite frankly, people need places to live if we're bringing in new jobs. So, it was one of those things where kind of everything was needs to work together. We have to work on our workforce piece. We need to work on making sure that those workers are there and that they're trained, but also they have somewhere to live. And, having opportunities in our community where people can live means that they have buy-in in our community, which is what we want. We don't necessarily want a lot of commuters coming in. It's certainly fantastic to get people coming into our community, but we want people who live here, who have the buy-in, who go to our schools and shop at our stores and eat at our restaurants. So that's our hope in all of this, is that we continue to bring in high quality jobs, and that we continue to have high quality places for people to live.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you. We know you guys are working hard there for us and our community, and that's why I wanted to have you on here this morning. And I'm so happy that you joined me. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
If has any questions, I'm going to tell them just to put them in the comments, and between the two of us, we can get back to them. So,
Excellent.
And Nick, and I appreciate you joining me today.
All right, thank you. It was great having you. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, bye.
Bye.